Imagine, if you will, a narrow, crowded street in 18th century Frankfurt, the Judengasse, a place of confinement and a hub of intense commerce and resilience. Here lived Meyer Amschel Rothschild with his family. His house was modest, marked by a red shield, zum Rothschild. That simple sign would become the symbol of a powerful financial dynasty. Meyer began as a dealer in old coins and medals. The trade taught him currency's value and the value of relationships with powerful collectors. His small shop was his schoolroom. He learned the art of the deal and the flow of money across borders. He studied rare coins for metal, history, and prestige. This brought him to aristocrats and noblemen, including Crown Prince Wilhelm of Hesse. Meyer sold more than coins. He sold knowledge and trust. He provided discreet, reliable service, building his family's reputation. He saw wealth as networks of dependable connections. Outside, Europe was at war, political turmoil, for many, chaos and loss. For Meyer, opportunity. Armies moved, borders shifted, creating needs. Soldiers needed paying, supplies needed purchasing, rulers needed loans. He saw a system crying out for a reliable intermediary, turning risks into pillars of a future empire. So, who are the Rothschilds? In simple terms, they're a family that created the first truly international bank. They're the architects of modern finance. Before them, banking was mostly a local or national affair. If a king in England needed money, he'd borrow from wealthy English merchants. The Rothschilds changed this entirely. Meyer Amschel's 5 sons established themselves in 5 key European cities: Frankfurt, Vienna, London, Naples, Paris. This created a network, a financial spiderweb that spanned the continent. They became a European institution, a single firm operating in 5 nations, controlled by a band of brothers. This structure gave them an unprecedented advantage. The family's core identity was built on unity and cooperation, concordia, integritas, industria. Though separated by hundreds of miles, they worked as one, communicating constantly via private couriers faster than any government service. They shared information, pooled resources, acted in concert. If one branch faced a challenge, the other 4 would support it. They were pioneers of global finance, popularizing government bonds and essentially creating the international bond market. By lending to governments at scale, they became advisors, mediators, power brokers, their access rivaling prime ministers and kings. Through deliberate internal consolidation, including cousin marriages common to aristocracy, they kept wealth, control, and culture unified for over a century. The symbol of the Rothschild family is 5 arrows clutched in a fist, the 5 sons bound by their father's vision. Amschel stayed in Frankfurt, Salomon to Vienna, Nathan to London, Karl to Naples, James to Paris, a stroke of strategic genius. The true currency of the Rothschild empire wasn't gold or silver, it was information. Their private courier network was legendary, carrying financial data, political news, market rumors, and secret intelligence. They often knew the outcomes of battles, diplomatic results, even a monarch's health before governments did, a colossal market edge. Imagine Napoleon on the move. Panic ripples through exchanges, yet their network might reveal his advance is stalling or an alliance forming. Armed with exclusive knowledge, they bought bonds for pennies on the pound. When the good news broke, prices soared and profits were astronomical. They pioneered international arbitrage. Consols priced differently in London, Paris, and Vienna due to slow communication. They knew all 3 at once: buy cheap in London, sell higher in Vienna. Repeated across markets, it created a constant stream of low-risk profit, the human version of high-frequency trading. They weren't just participating in the market, they mastered it by controlling its most valuable commodity: information. The most famous story of Rothschild prowess, Waterloo, 1815. The future of Europe hung in the balance. If Napoleon won, British bonds would collapse. If Wellington won, they'd skyrocket. Nathan Mayer Rothschild positioned agents near the battlefield. His courier braved a storm to cross the channel. Nathan knew the outcome a full day before the government envoy. What he did next? A masterclass. He sold British bonds openly. Observers assumed Wellington must have lost. Panic selling ensued. As others dumped, Nathan's agents quietly bought everything at historic lows. The next day, Wellington's victory became official. The market reversed explosively. The bonds he'd bought soared. The Waterloo story encapsulates their method: superior information amplified by market psychology. Beyond Waterloo, their influence tied to gold. In the 19th century, gold underpinned finance, and they dominated international bullion. They shifted vast gold reserves among branches to stabilize currencies and finance governments. In 1825, as the Bank of England neared collapse, the Rothschilds supplied a massive gold shipment, effectively saving Britain's financial system. Centuries later, the world remains captivated by the scale of the Rothschild fortune, fueled by a deep commitment to privacy. Unlike modern tech billionaires, the Rothschilds have operated in the shadows. Their wealth isn't in a single public company, but across a complex web of private holding companies, trusts, and charitable foundations worldwide. Secrecy fuels speculation, and history adds legend. In the 19th century, they likely controlled the largest private fortune in history. They financed wars, built railways, owned industries on a scale that dwarfed many treasuries. How much survived and grew? The lack of a clear answer invites imaginations to run wild. Their name became synonymous with old money and elite power, dynastic, inherited, entwined with history. With a shift from public banking to diverse private pursuits, winemaking, real estate, art collecting, philanthropy, mystery deepens. This retreat, combined with legend, creates a vacuum. Into it, theories and fantasies flow, ensuring the enigma will likely never be fully solved. And no family has drawn more conspiracy theories than the Rothschilds. Wealth, privacy, and Jewish heritage made them targets. A persistent myth claims they control the world's central banks, including the Federal Reserve. This is false. The Fed's governance rests with presidentially appointed, Senate-confirmed governors. The Rothschilds do not own or control it. Such theories reflect misunderstandings of central banking mixed with long-standing anti-Semitism. Another legend that Nathan crashed Britain to build his fortune. He exploited superior information, ruthless, but the villainous economy-wrecking version is embellished. The claim they foment wars and fund both sides is fantasy. They capitalized on instability, they didn't orchestrate it. Stability paid better, the truth is nuanced, power real but financial, built through intelligence, speed, and a unified family. For a time, they acted like a sixth great power alongside Britain, France, Austria, Prussia, and Russia, a private institution with public-scale influence. They pioneered cross-border finance, proving capital could shape history, and that information is the most valuable asset. Massive government loans enabled industrialization, railways, canals, factories, even financing Britain's Suez Purchase, granting them a voice in diplomacy. Beyond finance, art, vineyards, science, medicine, education, from ghetto to global power, laying groundwork for today's world, connected by invisible threads of capital and information.